Introduce one of our keynotes for today. The title of his speech, Drive Your Ferrari. Please join me in welcoming past international president, distinguished Toastmaster, Alfred Herzing, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Maurice. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, District 52. I'm excited. They say you can't go back home. I'm home. It's great to be back home. Earlier, I always feel bad. I'm honored as a past leader to be recognized. They recognized all the leaders in the room, and I'm like, my God, is there anybody in the room that hasn't been introduced? So if you weren't introduced earlier, stand now and be recognized. Yeah. Two people waved their hands, so they literally did introduce everybody in the room. Our district director, is he still in the room, Lance? Did he leave the room? We're very honored to have our district director here. Go get him. Somebody go grab him. Bring him in here. We need to make sure he's a part of this. He's like, oh, I've heard this before. I don't want to hang around. No. You realize that out of the whole world, there are only 100+ district directors in the whole world, which means if you're walking the streets of the world, you're more likely to bump into a current member of the House of Representatives than a district director. I mean, they're really rare and special. There he is. Let's acknowledge Lance. Now, let's say Lance were saying, when my term is up on June 31st, I'm going to be taking a trip. I'm going to go on a trip around the world. I'm going to be gone for a month. And I have this car, and I'm afraid that after sitting for a month, when I come back, it's not going to start. The battery will be dead. So if Lance were to come to you and say, if you wouldn't mind, if it's not too much trouble, would you mind starting my car once a week or so, just so the battery stays, charged, so when I come home I can use it? Would you help Lance with that? Yeah. Would you be excited about that? You would? Wow. I don't think I'd be excited about that. It's like, yeah, I'll help Lance, sure, but okay, there's another chore to do. What if instead Lance said, out of all my friends, I'm going to give you first chance to drive my Ferrari while I'm gone for a month. But before you accept, there's some conditions. Now, Ferraris are amazing vehicles. They've been featured in the Museum of Modern Art because they're so beautiful. And this is a fine-tuned machine. If it sits idle for even a day, it starts to fall apart. So if you're going to promise to drive my Ferrari, you have to promise to drive it every single day. Now, if there's a day you can't drive it, you need to find somebody else to drive it in your place. It needs to be driven every day. And this car, this Ferrari, it does not go through the car wash, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to drive my Ferrari, you have to promise to hand wash it once a week. Will you drive my Ferrari? Yes. Yeah. Now, there's some people that say no, and that's okay, because it isn't for everybody, is it? Now, let's take this into the Toastmasters world. See if you can relate to this. Hey, we need an officer. It's not a big job. All you need to do is help set up the room and help welcome the guests and make sure the meeting starts on time. Could you help us out? Right? Yeah. What position am I talking about? Sergeant at Arms. Are you going to be excited about doing that in that way? No, you feel like you're doing them a favor. Okay, I'll help you out. I'll do you a favor. I'll be a club officer. I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to take away this presentation, the Ferrari approach in asking people to join and be officers in this organization. Instead of saying, would you mind helping us out? It's not a big deal. All you need to do, say, out of all the Toastmasters in our club, I'm giving you first opportunity to be our Sergeant at Arms. Let me explain what that means. First of all, here are your responsibilities. Secondly, what you're going to get out of it is you're going to be part of the leadership team that helps run this club. You're going to help make the decisions about how things are happening. You're going to be part of a team. You're going to learn how to motivate and influence volunteers. And if you don't take advantage of this opportunity, I'm afraid I'm going to have to give it to somebody else and they will gain that growth. Will you be our sergeant at arms? Yeah. Now, how do you think they're going to feel in that way? Now they feel honored. Yeah. It's like, wow, out of all the Toastmasters in our club, he asked me. Wow. Instead of, hey, we need some help. Would you mind helping us out? Can you do us a favor? And there's some conditions too, right? What are the conditions of being a club officer? Yeah, 6 month or a 1 year commitment, depending on, right? Yeah, it's not a 2-meeting assignment. What else? You need to show up at the meetings. What else? You had to attend club officer training, right? That's a requirement. Well, I've already been there, done that. I don't need to go back to training. Ladies and gentlemen, my joke about it is I've been a Toastmaster since last century. And I am current club president of one of my clubs. I'm currently active in 5 clubs. And I went to club officer training, and every single time I go, I learn something. I'm still a Toastmaster because I'm still learning and growing. And so the fact been there, done that doesn't cut it. This is a commitment you make when you make an officer. Just like hand washing the Ferrari. That's usually the one that knocks people out. Whoa, hand wash the car? No way. I'm not doing it. Look, if you're going to drive a Ferrari, there are some things you're going to have to do. If you're going to be a club officer, there's some things you have to do. Let's take it to the district level. Because, well, this whole thing came to light to me a few years ago in this whole concept. Because I realized that Toastmasters has a worldwide reputation like Ferrari, right? I mean, you go anywhere in the world and you talk, mention Ferrari. Ferrari! Oh, yeah, we know a Ferrari! And Toastmasters International, we're in over 100 countries now, over 112 countries now. 15,500 clubs. Over 3 million people have participated in our program over the years. So Toastmasters is no longer the best kept secret. People have heard it. And a few years ago, I was at an offsite meeting with the IT organization I was a member of. And I'm a fun guy. I like to play around and have fun. And so we had a breakout session. And the first thing they do in the breakout session is they have to pick somebody to report back on the activities of the team, right? So everybody looked at me, you're the Toastmaster, you do it. I'm like, okay, fine, no big deal, right? Because those of us that are Toastmasters, it isn't a big deal. It's like, sure, standing in front of an audience, geez, I've never done that before. Report back. So when I came back, I said, and I didn't know the facilitator, he was an outside guy that we had brought in for the day. I said, Mr. Facilitator, fellow members of information technology, the green team is proud to present the results. And the guy said, wait a minute. Toastmasters, right? He recognized the format. We are no longer the best kept secret. And powerful. Ferraris have a reputation for being powerful. And Toastmasters is power. Our power is the power to change people's lives. Now, a few years ago, there was a Golden Gavel recipient, and he had written In Search of Excellence. And his name is escaping me right now. But anyway, he said the product of a nonprofit is a changed human being. Now, those of us that have gone through corporate restructures and downsizing, we know that change is not always for the better. And so I changed that around for my purpose for Toastmasters. Is the product of Toastmasters is an improved human being. Would you all agree with that? Yes. This program has the power to change people's lives. And yet we're begging people to become members. We're begging people to be officers. This is a wonderful experience. As was mentioned in my introduction, since joining Toastmasters, I gained 5 promotions. And I know in at least 2 of them, it was the leadership skills I gained as a Toastmaster that allowed me to do that. And so it changed my life. Now, back then, it was very convenient. I worked downtown LA in an office building where they had a Toastmasters club that met at lunch at the same facility. When a colleague asked me to come along for a lunch meeting, sure, I'm at the office, it's lunchtime, I need to eat, let's go. It was convenient. And thank God for that invitation Thank God for Beverly Andrews, past district governor of 52, that chartered that club. Because if that club was not there, I was a young guy. Believe it or not, I was in my 20s, so now you know, looking at my hair, how long I've been a member. I wasn't going to go out looking for a club in the evening, extra things to do, but it was there. It was convenient. And once I saw the program, I was impressed with it. And the result for me was tremendous growth in my personal development, and all of you got an international president out of it. So hopefully that's a good thing. And I have to do this for Marcia. Thank you very much, boys and girls. She loves my Kermit impersonation. But it was a wonderful for me. Not being a member, it had to be convenient. Knowing what I know now, I would drive 100 miles for a Toastmasters meeting. In no traffic. No, just kidding. Say, well, we can take 2 hours just to go from LA to the Valley, right? But this is the power of our program. And if we take it to the district level, I probably wouldn't be a Toastmaster still if I hadn't been an area governor, now area director, because that exposed me to the international level of organization. But we do such a terrible job of marketing area director. Gartner Group said this of HP, Hewlett-Packard's marketing back in the 1990s. And they've changed since then, so I think I can reference it without exposing them or embarrassing them. But they said their marketing is so bad, they would market sushi as raw dead fish. And I think that's sometimes the way we sell the area director position. Your area director comes and like, oh man, boy, another meeting. I'm glad to be here. Area council meetings, contests, building a new club. They want me to build a new club. I can't believe it. Work. Hey, does anybody want to be area director next year? And we wonder why we have a hard time recruiting. My God, this is the best position in the district. In my opinion, area director is the best position in the district. And I see a lot of past district directors and governors nodding their head. Why is this such a wonderful position? It's because, first of all, the further up, or we have the inverted organization chart where the members at the top, right? We are a very selfish organization. It's all about me. I'm the most important person at Toastmasters. I'm at the top of the organization. So when I was international president, I had 300,000 of you, bosses. But we're at the top. And then the club is there to support the member. The area is there to support your club officers and on down. So by the time I was on the board of directors, I was passing policies and making decisions that wouldn't, in some cases, be implemented until I was off the board. But the area director is the first line of leadership in the district. There are boots in the trenches. They get to see firsthand what's happening. They visit clubs and they can act as a mentor. Hey, have you ever thought about having the general evaluator evaluate the evaluators? Whoa, novel concept. I never thought of that. Next time you go back to visit, they're actually doing that. It's like, wow, I made a difference. This is awesome. And again, they're not there to tell them how to do it. They are there to offer suggestions. We act as coaches and mentors in area director. But they're also learning some tremendous skills. Those of you who have served in that position, share with me some of the skills you learned as an area director. She learned organization and how to work with other people. Is that skill needed in the workplace? Does that skill help you in your personal career? Okay, great. Let's give her a round of applause. Marcia, she learned as an area governor how one person can have a big impact. Does that help you in your personal and professional life? Absolutely. Absolutely, great. Yes, sir. Reviving life in something that's on life support, is that helpful in your business life? Yes, sir. Okay, great. Excellent. Roberta. Time management. Do you need to have good time management when you're an area director? Is that a skill that's needed in today's workplace? Is that a skill that helped you in your personal and professional life? Absolutely. What's another skill that you learn as an area director? Janet learned how to build clubs and how to pull that group together, because you had to build a team to do that, right? And how to get over rejection. And has that skill helped you? Tremendously, right. Lance? How to inspire other people. Absolutely. See, that's one of the things we learn in Toastmasters leadership. Sometimes I'm asked to train club presidents, and when I do, I say, okay, club presidents, try being a dictator. Pretty soon you're a president of a club with nobody in it. Big deal. And so as a leader in Toastmasters, and it starts right at the club level, we're learning to motivate and influence volunteers. And I was a director, an IT director in a big company, Fortune 500 company. I had 100 people in my organization. And I had position power over those people. But if I ever went to anybody and said, do it because I'm the boss, and that was the reason, we're done. There is no relationship. So motivating and influencing volunteers is absolutely critical, a skill that is built. And I want to come back to something that Janet said, and I want to build on it, and that is the idea of team building. Now, corporations have done what with their organizations? They've flattened them, right? No, they haven't flattened them. They flattened them, right? And we've gone to a team environment, right? Everything's done by teams. What does every team need? A leader. Where is team leadership being taught? Toastmasters. Now, years ago, the universities weren't even addressing that. They've caught on, oh, this is something that we need to address. But really, Toastmasters is that learning laboratory where you can do that, where you can learn how to build a team. Is that skill useful in the workplace? So, ladies and gentlemen, when we approach people about area director, my God, it's the best position in the district. They're going to learn time management. They're going to learn how to enroll people, engage people. They're going to learn how to have a bigger influence. For me, like I said, I probably still wouldn't be a Toastmaster if I hadn't become an area governor, because the whole international aspect of Toastmasters opened up. And we had an international president visit that year too, so I got to see, and like, wow, that guy is great. You know, if I could be just a tenth of him, that would be something to aspire to. And we can touch others. We can motivate and influence others and have an impact on their life. That is amazing. So Kathleen, come up here. If you're smart out there, I want you to go, oh, Kathleen, please make me an area director for next year. Please, I need to be an area director. All right, yeah.
Fair enough.
It is such an amazing position. It really is the best job in the district. It's going to give you tremendous opportunities, and it opens additional doors. A few years ago, there was a person that was a Toastmaster that was up for promotion at work. It was to lead an organization of 200 people. This person professionally had never led such a large group, and there was a panel that was interviewing all the candidates to select who would take the position. This Toastmaster turned in their professional resume, but they also turned in their Toastmaster resume, talking about the leadership skills gained by being a leader in the district and in Toastmasters. This Toastmaster later found out that she did get the job, and it was her Toastmaster resume that put her head and shoulders above her competition. That lady was Helen Blanchard, who went on to be our first international female president. Let's give it a round for Helen. Those of you that have been area governors, those of you that were area governors or area directors, I want you to share with me some of the things that you gained out of it as far as your personal and professional life. Roberta, let's start with you, because I know you're a great example. For those of you that couldn't, let's give Roberta a round of applause. So Roberta learned to say yes. She learned the ability to speak impromptu because as an area governor visiting multiple clubs, they would ask her to participate in the clubs. She eventually learned to bring her manual along so she could get credit for the speeches they would ask her to do impromptu. And think about this. I mean, logically, of course she said it's true, but wouldn't you think that saying yes at work and the ability to step in at the last minute at work would help you in your professional life? Of course it would. Absolutely. Absolutely. Other people that have served in the position. Linnea. So Linnea learned organizational skills that allowed her to put on special events. And I can relate to that because I was my senior class vice president, and the ASB president came to me afterwards and said, by the way, it's your responsibility to organize all the class reunions forever. And I'm like, oh, okay. But after organizing a district conference as the lieutenant governor of, program quality, the LGT back then, but now it's the program quality director. All these titles, I'll tell you. You know, it really was a piece of cake, so I really did. I did about like 5 in a row for our class, and they actually, at the last one I went to, I haven't been to the last couple, but they actually gave me a certificate. Now that we're doing it, we see all the work you did. Oh, man, you're amazing. And I'm like, no, it was easy because I learned it in Toastmasters. Or one other example. Yes, sir, you in the back. Again, invaluable personal growth and seeing that bigger world of Toastmasters. There is no right and wrong way to do things in Toastmasters in general. I mean, I'm a stickler about in table topics, you ask the question first and then pick somebody. Because if I say, okay, Janet, this question's for you, all of us are taking that mental vacation to Tahiti while she's thinking about it. So we force everybody in the room to go through it. But I have seen clubs that will, like our clubs, we do table topics, manual speeches, evaluations. Some clubs, when I visited Kansas, the district director there told me, no, we do the speeches first and then table topics so the evaluators have more time to figure out their evaluation. I'm like, okay, your evaluators are a little slower than ours. I guess they need that extra time, but that's, fine. Some clubs do an invocation and pledge. Some clubs don't. Some clubs have a thought for the day. Some clubs don't. Some clubs have a quiz master. I saw this in Ontario, Canada. What's a quiz master? A quiz master will get up at the meeting and said, okay, who said this? And they quiz the members about things that happened in the meeting. I was like, whoa, okay, not bringing that back to my club. I saw a club, this was kind of clever. When a member gives their icebreaker speech, they give them a box of the candies icebreaker, the breath mints. Here's your icebreaker. They give them, it's like, oh, okay, that's true. And again, no right or wrong, but it's different, and you get exposed to that. I mentioned earlier my example about the general evaluator evaluating the evaluators. When I visited Bangkok Toastmasters in Thailand, they didn't do that. And I was, you might want to think about this. Oh, we never thought about that. I don't know if they ever did. Went back, let's see. No, I don't think they did do it when I visited back. And that's okay, right? It's okay because they do what's right for them. But ladies and gentlemen, too often we're begging people to be members. We're begging people to be officers, when in fact we need to use that Ferrari approach. Out of all the people, I'm giving you first opportunity. My presidential theme was take control of your destiny. And it wasn't Toastmasters take control of your destiny because it applied to guests. Guest, you've come to a Toastmasters meeting. You've seen an amazing program. What are you going to do about it? You're going to go home and go back to the couch and hope to become a better speaker? To be more confident, build your self-confidence? I mean, I'm sure you have. You've seen it in other people. The literal transformation from people that, when they first called on table topics, they couldn't even get through the full minute, right? And I can't do this, and they sit down. Pretty soon they're giving manual speeches off the cuff. You can't shut them down. This program brings up, that builds self-confidence. It makes people more effective in their work. They get those promotions. They have those opportunities. It's a life-changing opportunity. And yet we're begging people. No. And Toastmasters isn't for everybody. If you're not willing to be a positive member, if you're not willing to be an active member, I don't want you in the club. When I chartered a club, I was international president, and we chartered a club at my work. One of the people in the meeting said, I have a question. If I join Toastmasters, do I have to speak? And it's a fair question. I said, well, if you mean the manual speeches, no, this is a self-paced program. And so if you're not ready to jump in and start giving manual speeches, that's fine. But there are other rules in the club, and when you are the timer, we're going to expect you to stand up and explain the timing procedure. And if you're not willing to do that, I just assume you not join the club. And the governor that was the title back there, and she's in the room, because who wants to see the international president do a launch meeting, right? I'll be there. And she's like, I'm sure she was like, oh my gosh, you just told somebody not to join. But this isn't for everybody, and if you're not willing to do what it takes to be a member of Toastmasters, I don't want you. I don't want paper members. I don't want paper clubs. I want real members and real clubs and real people moving through the program. Now, she did join. She didn't jump right into giving speeches, but she participated in the club. She went on to be club president. So she grew through the program. Ladies and gentlemen, this program works. We know that. That's why my Speechcraft programs, I always offer a money-back guarantee. If you attend 4 out of the 5 sessions and don't feel like you got the benefit of the $100 you paid, we'll give you your money back. Never have had to give my money back because our program works. So ladies and gentlemen, you have an amazing opportunity. I encourage you. I entreat you. No, I implore you. Drive your Ferrari.
Alfred Herzing, ladies and gentlemen. Alfred Herzing.
Thank you.
Alfred, before you go anywhere, as a token of our appreciation, definitely give a little standing ovation, please. Madonna mia. As our token of appreciation, we know how busy you are, so please accept this as our way of saying thank you for joining us and inspiring us here today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be back with you in 52. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfred. Fantastic.